very different than the way we've operated in the past, but I do think that it's time for us to stop operating like we're an amateur hour.
You just heard what Angel mentioned there. And as we all know, winning a primary and winning a statewide race in Texas are two very different things. So what does the road to November actually look like when it comes to winning for Texas Democrats?
Well, they are two different things, but I do think that it is really important to point out that this is the first election in over 20 years where the Democrats outvoted the Republicans in the primary. What that means is that there's a lot of momentum on our side and there's not a lot of momentum on their side. And so I think while they are different elections, it is a testament to what we're staring down the barrel of. And that's huge opportunity. So what I think the strategy is number one, the first, foremost, most important thing in any election is uniting our base and making sure that we're ready to move forward. Because if you look at the numbers in the last election in 24, there were 1.1 million Democrats who voted in 2020 and stayed home in 20 that said that we were not worth showing up and voting for. And that's no one's fault but our own. So the conversation over the next month, in my opinion, needs to be about how do we get the team back together? What can we do to make sure that all of our nominees are worthy of our base casting a ballot? Number two is going to be a long discussion about improving our data systems throughout the state, making sure we have a high quality coordinated campaign that is actually coordinating and is not just people from one room shouting orders down, but actually listening to people on the ground, telling us what's important to their communities, and operating like we're on a team instead of fiefdoms, instead of silos where everybody's fighting about who's in charge and who gets credit. It really doesn't matter who gets credit if we end up losing a bunch of elections. So, very different than the way we've operated in the past, but I do think that it's time for us to stop operating like we're an amateur hour. If Texas wants to be a swing state, if Texas wants to be a swing state, you got to start acting like it. And that is the structure that we're trying to put together to be able to win. We anticipate reaching out to every voter in Texas 4 to 5 times to improve our data, to improve the work that we're doing. But we can only do it if people are volunteering and bought into the effort. So that's why it always starts with making sure our base is united and ready to go.
I love that.